Welcome back to Skylab Gaming with your host, Skylab Gaming Creation. And hey, what if I told you you could get all the diamonds and coal that you could ever want from Creativerse? You want to make unlimited diamond armor and weapons? Then it is completely up to you. This guide will show you how to do just that. First thing that you're going to need for this is tar. Now you'll have to go down to the stalactite layer to find it. I found it easiest to go down to the stalactite layer and wander around in some caves because you'll usually see these large waterfalls of tar. Now, like water or basically any other liquid block in the game, it's infinitely spawning once you get one. So really, you only need one, and then you can make a handy dandy spawner like this. You don't have to use the exact design. I'll go over spawner designs in a later video. But for our purposes now, all you need really is one singular tar, and you can keep on making more because it spreads out on the ground. So if you're using a generator like this, you can just pull it and it'll continue to go down. If you're using a ground-based design, for instance, or really any patch of ground, you can just lay it down on the ground and it will spread out to 13 blocks. So that is very handy for what we will be doing. Go ahead and suck this up. Now also, like water, if you suck up the source block, so the block where you actually lay it down, that's how you pick up the tar. I spent way too much time trying to figure that one out. Now, besides a few commonly available items that most people have, you will need 2 specialty items for this. So if you go into your craft menu, you can go to combat, or you can just scroll down to the explosives, and you'll see the fire bomb and the freeze bomb. So you'll have to get enough stuff to make, one batch of these, basically 4. We only really need 1 each, but it's good to have extras because once you learn this method, you'll be using it a ton. So you'll need fire bombs and freeze bombs. A core component of both of these is gunpowder, so be on the lookout for keepas. So during nighttime, if you're running around or if you have the glider from Pro, you can glide around and look for the keepas, or you can go down into caves and find them. That's usually where I find them. So keepas are pretty common throughout the game though, so we can skip that one for now. However, I will show you how to get the Hardened Lava and the Worm Tooth, which that's something that's a little bit harder to find, along with the Shrewd Shrew tail. So let's get into it. Now, once you find yourself on the lava layer, you should see these cooldown darkish red bricks. That is the Hardened Lava, and that is what we're after. So go ahead and suck up a couple of those blocks. I believe you will need a mining cell that is of diamond quality or higher to mine these blocks. And hey, while you're down here, it might be a good idea to grab some sulfur and maybe some igneous rock because that can come in handy later. Now, you will be looking for an actual, a cave system. That way you can find the worms. But this is good for getting hardened lava. I'm going to explore around here a little bit and see if I can find a cave for you guys. So I'm in the Savannah Desert area cave exploring, and I actually found one of these Shrewd Shrews, so I decided it'd be a good time to show you guys what they look like. They're basically these little flaming rats. They're kind of funny looking. Anyways, be careful because their fire attacks can hurt you a little bit, so thankfully we have pretty good armor from having all of this diamond, so that'll give you 1 or 2 Shrewd Shrew tails, and that should be enough to get you by. I believe you only need 2 for this. And yes, you actually only need 1 for this. So once you kill one of those, you should be good to go. Let's see if we can find that worm. All right, so once you do a little bit of digging, you'll eventually find your way into a cavern if you dig through this hardened lava, or you just dig straight down. Not something I would suggest. And I hear a keepa, so I'm going to see if we can find him real quick. All right, so we've come to a pretty large open area here, and we have found a worm. This is what they look like. They're kind of weird snake serpent looking things, so we're going to go ahead and beat this one up too. Once again, watch out for their fire attacks if you can manage it, because they do hurt you a lot. So we got 2 tooths from that should be enough for 1 firebomb, and we are on the lookout now for some hotfoots. They actually drop some gunpowder too, so this would be a good area to go ahead and kill them, collect it while you're down here. So let's see if we can find one. And actually we're going to find a keepa first. So on the lava layer, it's pretty common to see them just because there's so many areas that they can spawn, and you have such huge, large natural caverns. So we're going to go ahead and kill this keepa. Hopefully he'll drop some gunpowder, and he didn't, but that's all right. We'll keep on looking. And we did find a hotfoot. We're going to have to dig our way over at him. Do be careful in the lava. I would take any fire resistance that you have. You don't absolutely need it because we're not, you know, making an extended stay or anything. And we're going to go ahead and beat up this hotfoot too. These guys are actually fairly strong, so I would suggest some higher level armor if you do have it. If you don't, that's fine. And we've got the gunpowder, so that's pretty much all that we need for the fire bombs. We can craft those, and we get 4 whole bombs. Next up is the ice bomb. We're going to need some specialized stuff for that. You're going to need some more gunpowder. So if while you're down here, I would kill an extra hotfoot or 2, and you need a Rambo tuft, blizzard chizard, gizzard, and some ice, which we can find in the snowy realms. So we're going to have to get the haywater out of here. Alrighty, and here we are on a snowy mountain, and as you can see, we found the first item that we are looking for, some ice. Now, it's more common to find them in the forests, like down low in the frozen taigas, but if you go into these little caves in the mountain, you will find a ton of ice. So we're going to snap some up while we're here. And that should be enough, I believe. And yes, we only needed 5, so we got plenty for that. I would go ahead, especially whenever you're out actually collecting materials that are a little more rare, I would try to collect enough for, 2 or 3 of it. That way you don't have to keep on going out multiple times for special items. So we just happened to get lucky enough to have the Rambo and the Blizzard Chizard here. So we're going to go ahead and kill both of these guys. We'll do the Blizzard Chizard first because they're a little bit easier to kill. There we go. And the Rambo next. Now the Rambos are also a little strong, so make sure you have a decent sword and armor and or some potions if you're going to do this. Because they have, here, I'll see if I can get them to do it. They have this attack that knocks you in the air that you have to, that's the one that you have to watch out for, because you can take a lot of damage falling down just having that attack hit you. So once their little frosts end, you've got the tuft. And then you've also got the gizzard. Let's see if that's enough to make one. It is. We're going to go ahead and craft. And now for the next part, I will meet you guys back up at the base. All right, so there are a couple different ways to actually design the apparatus to do this. As you can see, I had a couple experiments seeing what would be the most efficient. Now, like I said, the tar blocks do actually spread 13 out when you put them flat on the ground, like any other liquid block in the game. So I did try a couple different drop-down designs. Those didn't work quite as well. I found the easiest one to be this ground-based design, but I will show you a couple different ones so you guys can decide what's best for you. So first off, you're going to want to make a design that's kind of like this. You can pause the video to get a better idea of it, or you can do kind of this tri-shape up here, and then count 2 out, or excuse me, count 3 out on each side, 3 out here, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, you can use any colored block, basically. I wouldn't use wood blocks just because you will be using fire bombs and you probably won't destroy the blocks, but just in case, because this is a repeatable design, I would use something that's rock-based. But like I said, totally up to you, especially if you're going to be using it as something more decorative. You can use even like a wool block or something if you wanted to. So all you're going to do is drop down 1 tar on each of these colored squares. So 1 here, there. Now the bombs cover a 7x7 area. So this is a little overkill for what we're doing, but it will give you a very, very good return without spending basically a lot of tar and without using a lot of area. It's a very compact design. So the next thing you're going to do is throw an ice bomb in the middle as much as you can. You can either walk right up to it, or I like to jump over it so I can see kind of what I'm looking at. And we have low grav on here, so that makes it a little bit easier. So you're going to jump and throw it right in the middle. Now, bombs don't go very far, so just be aware of the arc because bombs drop off very quickly. So we're going to hop up here, toss our ice bomb, and boom. You have created an entire, an entire coal slab, probably more coal than you've seen in a very long time if you've been mining normally. So you can put extractors on these and start mining infinite coal, make infinite torches, whatever you want from coal actually. However, for the sake of this video, we are going to be making diamond also. So this is going to be the same process. but you're going to throw a firebomb right in the middle. So same thing, you're going to jump up, throw your firebomb, and bada bing, you've made yourself a whole slab of diamond. Now, like I said, you're gonna have some stragglers on the side here just because it's not always perfect where you throw the bomb unless you have some kind of super aim. But this is still a fair amount of diamond, and the process is repeatable. So once you actually mine these out, you'll have the blocks on the bottom again, and you can just suck up the tar and start all over. And before I forget, I'll be sucking up all this tar. There we go. And you can see on the bottom, your source blocks are still fine, and that is what we are after. That's design number 1. Now, the second design that I found just about as effective is this sort of tower build that we've got going on. So you're going to lay a base of 5 by 5, and I would use rock just because, you know, there's no weird temperature things going on there where you can't accidentally freeze or burn these blocks, but it's really up to you. I just find it easier to do this just in case anything gets damaged or destroyed in the process. 4, 5, there we go. And then bring it across in a little box like this. And this is basically going to give the tar an area to go. So that way, when we build up and make our source block, it'll come down like a sweet, sweet coal waterfall. So you're going to build 10 up here. I've tried a little bit more, a little bit less. 10 to 12 is about the height that I think is best for me, but you may find something that's better. We're going to do this one 12 high. Now, on the top here, all you're going to do is drop a singular tar block and then basically fall off, swim off, do whatever you want. This server, like I said, is low gravity, so I'm not going to take a lot of damage from falling, but you might want to have a secondary tower or something to fall to just so you don't take that fall damage. Hopping up, and then you can actually surf back down if you want on this tar. That's pretty handy. Or fall off the whole thing. All right, and then once it actually reaches the bottom, we can repeat the same process. Now, I find it good to kind of throw it in between here to try to hit as many blocks as you can. Now we can continue our coal and diamond creating adventures. Like I said, you want to throw it somewhere in the middle here. This one I find a little bit closer to be very close to it and jump and toss it to the middle. So hop up, toss it, and you've got yourself a very, very large amount of coal once again. Now, the difference between this design though is that you do have to jump back up and remove the source block. A little bit of a pain. But I do like this design because it's very easy to put your extractors on it as we try to jump up there, even with low gravity. This is why trees come in handy. All right, up we go. A little bit more. We'll get there eventually. All right. And not actually fall off the tree. We're going to jump up right into the middle of it and suck that middle block. If you remove one of the actual blocks, that's fine. That's why we do extra so that we can continue onwards. Then from here, if you have extractors, you can just drop them down and then continue going down the line. That's pretty much it for this design. Now for the third and final design. This is something that you could put in a house if you were trying to put in an accent wall or something like that. And like any of the other designs, you can actually build them out of any stone that you want. I mean, if you want to do it completely in bedrock, totally fine. If you want to do it completely in limestone, totally fine. If you want to do it completely in igneous for some reason, also totally fine. Now, the reason you would use this build is if you are trying to put this into some kind of build, some kind of house, and you wanted something that is functional, but also looks decent when you're not physically farming it. Or if you like the look of a diamond wall, that's a pretty fast way to do it. So you are going to do this 8x3 design. And then it's also going to be 8 high. Now, like I said, I know the bombs only cover 7x7, but you wanted another high with this little trough in between so that you can actually maximize the amount of your bomb's effectiveness. So we're going to run to the top here and we're going to go ahead and drop the tar in. Once I manage to get up there without falling over, there we go. All right, and you can use the inside of these blocks. I find that's the easiest way to drop down this tar. And we'll just go on down the line here. There we go. And that should drop all the way down and you have yourself a lovely, lovely tar wall. Now, like I said, what's kind of cool is you can use this as a hidden wall or something like that if you want to. There's a lot of uses for this type of design. That's why I wanted to show you guys another alternative. So it's going to be the same process though. After this Pigsy gets out of there. Get out of here, Pigsy. What are you doing? Go on. Go on. All right. It's going to be the same basic process. You will toss an ice bomb and then a fire bomb. So now something to point out before you do throw this bomb, if you actually throw it directly as it is now, the bomb can pass through. So I would suggest making a backing for this out of, once again, whatever you feel like. There we go. Now we've got a solid backdrop that we can actually throw our bomb at so it doesn't phase through and you end up wasting a ton. And all you do is aim a little bit above the middle because there will be some arc. And bada bing, you have a full wall. Now, I definitely think this could be one of the most aesthetically pleasing designs if that is your goal. Now, same thing, you can put extractors on here or you can throw another firebomb and make that sweet, sweet wall of diamond. Bam. Now, even if it's a little bit off center, you will get these straggler blocks almost no matter what you do, depending on your design, but this is more than enough diamond for the vast majority of uses. Now, like I said, I did fiddle with some of these drop-down ideas where trying to maximize the efficiency of the bombs with 7x7, but just because they're such a pain to build and really there's just so much to use your extractors on at once, I don't think this type of design is quite worth it. But hey, you guys fiddle with these designs and let me know if you do come up with a cooler design. I would love to feature any design that is more efficient. Now, another thing to point out, when you have coal and diamond, you will have the monsters that spawn from that layer sometimes. So especially with the diamond, you're going to see a lot of worms because the diamond spawns on the lava layer where the worms make their home. So if you don't have the beasts on passive, they will definitely attack you and make for a hard time. So either use your extractors right away if you have them, or if you have the option, go ahead and turn the monsters to passive. And now one last pointer, with all that rapid amount of diamond that you do have and the coal, because you will want about an equal amount of coal, you can run on over to your furnaces. And you can use your coal to basically turn it into infinite diamond blocks. And from that, you can build armor, weapons, and all sorts of decorations. A secondary note to point out, you can use hardened lava as a fuel if you're using another generator like I am, or if you just happen to pull a ton of it while you were down in the lava layer. It's the same efficiency as coal, and it's not that hard to collect. However, now that you have infinite coal, I would just go with that for now. And as easy as that, you're going to have a full stack of diamond. Alrighty guys, and with that, enjoy all of your newfound diamond. If you found this video helpful, then please give me a like or leave a comment below and let me know what your favorite part about having all this diamond is and what you're going to do with it. And if you'd like to see more videos or more guides on Creativerse, then also please let me know because I have been having an absolute blast with the game. Until I see all of you fun creators again, this is your host, Skylab-Gaming, signing off.